Welcome to Informed Tourist AI, ready to dive deep into this video. Today we're talking about the top 10 rudest countries in the world. I know, judging a whole country based on some people's actions seems harsh, right? But listen, we're not here to throw shade. This isn't about starting a fight, it's about sharing travel experiences and having a few laughs. What if I told you there's a hidden side to this you probably never knew? Stick around to find out. Plus, stay until the end for a must-know tip on handling rude behavior wherever you travel. It might save your next vacation. Alright, let's kick things off in France, the land of croissants, romance, and, well, not everyone feels the love in Paris. We've all heard the stories about Parisians being a little short with tourists, especially if you don't try to speak the language. Picture this, you're strolling down the Champs-Élysées, soaking in the beauty, and you decide to ask for directions. You muster up your best, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" And what do you get? A blank stare, or worse, a dismissive shrug. Ouch, right? Paris is a busy city and not everyone speaks English. But still, a little effort goes a long way. Fun fact, many French locals prefer you try a little French before switching to English. Even a simple bonjour can make a world of difference. Seriously, it's true. A little bonjour or merci can work wonders. It shows you're making an effort, you know? And who knows, it might just soften the heart of even the most stoic Parisian. But hey, it's not just about the language barrier. Sometimes it's just a general lack of patience that can make you feel like you're inconveniencing them by simply existing. Now, I'm not saying all French people are rude. I've met some incredibly kind and welcoming Parisians. Next up, we're heading east to Russia, a country of epic proportions from its vast landscapes to its turbulent history. But amidst the grandeur and intrigue, there's a certain coldness. Don't get me wrong, the Russians I've met are some of the most genuine, hospitable people you'll ever encounter. But they're also incredibly straightforward, and their version of politeness might not align with what we're used to. Imagine this, you're in a bustling Moscow metro station, trying to navigate the Cyrillic signs, and you work up the courage to ask for help. You approach someone and ask, "Excuse me, can you tell me how to..." And then it happens. They barely even glance at you. Maybe a grunt, maybe a mumbled word, maybe just a dismissive wave of the hand. In Russian culture, it's not uncommon to be reserved with strangers. Small talk isn't really their thing. They'd rather cut to the chase, get down to business. So that seemingly rude encounter in the metro? It's not personal. They're not trying to be mean, they're just trying to get on with their day. And hey, maybe there's something to be said for that kind of efficiency. Alright, let's hop over to Germany, the land of beer, pretzels, and brutal honesty. Look, I love Germany. The history, the culture, the beer gardens, it's all fantastic. But there's no denying that Germans have a reputation for being direct. Imagine this. You're at a restaurant trying to decipher the menu and you mispronounce the name of a dish. Instead of politely correcting you, the waiter might just blurt out the correct pronunciation. Or worse, you might overhear someone at the next table loudly whispering about how you're butchering their language. In German culture, directness is often seen as a sign of respect. They're not trying to be mean, they're just trying to be clear and efficient. They tell it like it is, even if it makes you spit out your schnitzel. But once you get past that initial bluntness, you'll find that they're some of the most loyal and helpful people you'll ever meet. Next stop, China, a country of ancient traditions, breathtaking landscapes, and, well, personal space is a foreign concept. Navigating the crowds in China can be an experience, especially if you're used to having a little breathing room. Imagine this. You're trying to make your way through a crowded market, sensory overload hitting you from all directions, and suddenly, you're shoved aside. Not a pardon me or excuse me, just a full-on body check. You look up, ready to unleash your inner Godzilla, but the person who bumped into you is already gone, swallowed up by the sea of humanity. In China, personal space is a luxury. It's not personal, it's just a fact of life in a country with over 1 billion people. What seems like pushing to us might just be their way of moving through busy spaces quickly. It's all about efficiency. But it's not just about the crowds. Communication can be a challenge too, even if you've got Google Translate on speed dial. Facial expressions and body language that we take for granted in the West might not translate well in China. What we perceive as rudeness might just be a cultural misunderstanding. China is a country of contrasts. So if you encounter a little rudeness, don't let it get you down. Just take a deep breath, remember that you're a visitor in their country, and try to go with the flow. Alright, let's jet over to Italy, the land of pizza, pasta, and, well, Waiters who seem like they're doing you a favor by taking your order. I know, the food in Italy is, but the service? Let's just say it's not always served with a smile. Picture this. You've snagged a table at a charming trattoria, the aroma of freshly baked bread filling the air. You're starving, ready to devour a plate of carbonara, and then the waiter arrives. No warm greeting, no friendly smile, just a gruff, "What do you want?" You stammer out your order, feeling like you're back in high school. In Italy, there's a certain theatricality to life, a passion that extends to every aspect of their culture, including dining. So that grumpy waiter, he's not actually mad at you probably. He's just playing a role adding to the ambiance. It's like they say, when in Rome, or in this case, when in Italy, embrace the chaos. Don't take it personally if the waiter seems like he'd rather be anywhere else. Just order your pasta, sip your wine, and enjoy the show. Hold up, wait a minute! The United States! Land of the free, home of the brave, and, well, number 5 on the list of rudest countries? Yep, you heard that right. Now I know what you're thinking, Curtis, you're crazy. Americans are the friendliest people on earth. And you know what? You're not entirely wrong. We Americans, we love to chat. We'll strike up a conversation with anyone, anywhere, about anything. We're a friendly bunch, always willing to lend a helping hand. But sometimes that friendliness can be a little much, even for fellow Americans. Imagine this, you're at the grocery store just trying to buy some milk and eggs, and the cashier decides to have a full-blown conversation with you about the weather, their grandkids, and their plans for the weekend. You're trapped, nodding politely while your ice cream melts in the cart. Fun fact, being loud and friendly is considered good customer service in most places in the US, but it might come off as rude or intrusive to more reserved cultures. Look, I'm all for a good chat, but there's a time and a place, right? And sometimes all we want is to be left alone with our groceries. But hey, that's America for you. We're a country of extremes, from our supersized portions to our over-the-top personalities. So, if you're ever feeling overwhelmed by our American enthusiasm, just take a deep breath, and remember, it comes from a good place. We just really like to talk. Thanks for watching Informed Tourist AI. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's free and helps support the channel. Alright, let's hop on a plane and head to India, a country of vibrant colors, rich history, and a different pace of life. Now, India holds a special place in my heart. The people, the food, the culture, it's an experience unlike any other. But I'm not gonna lie, it can be intense, especially if you're not used to the constant hustle and bustle. Imagine this, you're strolling through a crowded market, the air thick with the scent of spices and incense. Vendors are calling out, trying to entice you with their wares. Cows are casually strolling down the street, seemingly unfazed by the chaos. Auto rickshaws are zipping through the crowds, horns blaring. It's a sensory overload. And just when you think you've seen it all, someone grabs your arm and tries to sell you a knockoff Rolex. In India, haggling is a way of life. It's not considered rude. It's expected. So if you're not prepared for it, it can feel like you're constantly being bombarded. But once you get the hang of it, it can be a lot of fun. Just remember to be respectful, set your price, and don't be afraid to walk away if you're not comfortable. Next up, we're heading to Saudi Arabia, a country of vast deserts, ancient traditions, and a unique set of cultural norms. Now, before we dive in, I want to be clear. I'm not here to judge anyone's culture or beliefs. But it's important to remember that what's considered polite in one part of the world might be seen as offensive in another. And Saudi Arabia is a prime example of that. Hospitality is deeply ingrained in their culture. They'll welcome you into their homes, offer you food and drink, and treat you like family. But they also have strict social rules, especially when it comes to interactions between men and women. In Saudi Arabia, showing too much skin can be seen as disrespectful, so make sure you know the dress code before you go. Public displays of affection are frowned upon, and it's important to be mindful of your body language. So, if you're planning a trip to Saudi Arabia, do your research and be prepared to adapt to their customs. G'day mates! We're heading down under to Australia, the land of kangaroos, koalas, and surprisingly surly locals. I know it's hard to believe that a country known for its laid-back vibe could also be home to some less than friendly folks. Now don't get me wrong, Australians are generally a friendly bunch. They love a good barbie, a cold beer, and a chat about the footy. But they also have a bit of a reputation for being direct in their communication style. Think of it as a more sarcastic, dry-witted version of British humor. Imagine this. You're lost in the outback, and you finally spot another human being. You wave them down, relieved to be saved, and you ask for directions. And what do you get? A blank stare, a shrug, and a mumbled, "Dunno, mate." No helpful tips, no offer to point you in the right direction, just a sense of, "You're on your own, buddy." But here's the thing about Australians, their gruff exterior often hides a heart of gold. They might not always show it, but they're always willing to help a mate in need. So if you find yourself on the receiving end of some Aussie sarcasm, don't take it personally. Just roll with the punches, have a laugh, and remember they're probably just messing with you. Shalom and welcome to Israel, a country of ancient history, stunning landscapes, and a no-nonsense approach to life. Israel is a complex country with a rich culture and a diverse population. But it's also a place where people are incredibly direct, and they don't sugarcoat their words. Whether you're haggling in a market asking for directions or ordering food, be prepared for a straight-up answer, even if it's not what you want to hear. Imagine this, you're at a restaurant, trying to decide what to order, and you ask the waiter for a recommendation. Instead of launching into a sales pitch about the day's specials, they might just shrug and say, "Everything's good." Or worse, they might flat out tell you that what you're thinking of ordering is not so good. In Israeli culture, honesty is highly valued, even if it's not always delivered with a smile. They'd rather tell you the truth, even if it hurts, than waste time with pleasantries. It's a refreshing change of pace from the fake niceness that's so common in other parts of the world. So if you're planning a trip to Israel, be prepared for some straight talk. Just embrace the honesty, have a laugh, and remember, they're not trying to be mean, they're just keeping it real. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 rudest countries in the world according to, well, the internet. But remember, these are just stereotypes, and every country has its good apples and bad apples. No matter where you go, remember this. Locals aren't always being rude on purpose. Cultural differences can make things seem harsher than they are. Thanks for watching Informed Tourist AI. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's free and helps support the channel.